Greetings, everyone. Hope you're doing well out there. I'm Jimmy Overton, your fellow film fan and host of Monday at the Movies, a classic weekly film series presented by the historic Wayne Theater Ross Performing Arts Center right here in Waynesboro, Virginia. As we all know, due to government restrictions on social gathering, the theater is temporarily closed, but we're awaiting to reopen, which will be a happy day for all of us. And in the meantime, we'd like to stay in touch with you and keep the connection going via hashtag at home with the Wayne. Hashtag at home with the Wayne. That can be accessed by either entering that link or through the Wayne Theater Facebook page or website. There's some very entertaining posts there, some very talented people who are associates of the Wayne Theater. And I would customarily, on our Monday evening film series, I would customarily give a brief introduction of each film from week to week. And we're also presenting the introduction, which can be seen at hashtag at home with the Wayne as well. Many of our film fans on Monday nights have very kindly been following the scheduled and preempted films because of the lockdown from the safety of their home. And all of these movies can be enjoyed via either Netflix or Amazon Prime. If you subscribe to either of those services, you'll be able to stay current with us. And we'll talk about, we'll do a little cinema chat when all this is over on the other side. Quite often over the years, when we've done Monday at the Movies, many patrons have pulled me aside and said, Jimmy, just how about a good old-fashioned sweet romance? And I like those kind of movies as well. So the movie that was scheduled for Monday, April the 27th, is You've Got What You Got It. It's one of the best as far as romantic pictures go. How it's very, very bittersweet as well. It has romance, it has comedy, some sadness. It'll strum the old heartstrings a little bit, but a very successful and very entertaining motion picture from 1973, The Way We Were, starring Barbra Streisand and Robert Redford, and the two stars were never more appealing or more attractive. Directed by Sidney Pollack. Mr. Pollack had already worked quite successfully with Robert Redford in a number of other films. This Property is Condemned, Jeremiah Johnson, don't miss that one, 3 Days with the Condor, The Electric Horseman, Out of Africa. That was a picture that gave Mr. Pollack his Oscar for Best Director. It was also Best Motion Picture of the Year in 1986, and Havana. This film was nominated for several Oscars, The Way We Were, taking home the statuette for Best Music and Best Song. More about that in a moment. That was from Marvin Hamlish. Interestingly enough, Mr. Hamlish had also won an Oscar for his score, which is an interpretation of Scott Joplin ragtime music, for another Robert Redford film, The Sting, in a few years afterwards. Here's the short pitch of this film, the short synopsis. The often unlikely joint lives of Kathy Morosky and Hubbell Gardner from the late 1930s to the late 1950s is presented, over which time they are, in no particular order, strangers, acquaintances, friends, best friends, lovers, and adversaries. Two very different people. They have a long-standing romance, but their political views and certain convictions seem to always get in the way. Barbra Streisand and Robert Redford had a very different approach to acting. Miss Streisand liked to analyze the part at great length and rehearse a good deal, while Robert Redford was more an intuitive, spontaneous actor. So Mr. Sidney Pollack, the director, oftentimes had to act as kind of a referee, because as they were playing a certain scene through several takes, Barbra Streisand tended to get sharper, whereas Robert Redford seemed to have his best takes early in the shooting and would lose a little bit of his edge as time went by. So Director Pollack had to kind of pick the right time when he was getting both actors at the kind of the peak of their inspiration. Despite these differences, however, Streisand and Redford had a deep respect for each other and worked very well. They were opposite in many ways, which they brought this difference to the characters in their film. When word got out to the public that Barbra Streisand and Robert Redford were filming on the city streets of Manhattan, it was no small feat to keep huge crowds from adoring fans from gathering every day. This is also true for crowds gathering in the movie theaters. It was a very successful motion picture. The film was Barbra Streisand's second Best Actress nomination. Additionally, The song from the film, The Way We Were, was 1974's most successful recording in the United States, where it placed at #1 in the Billboard year-end Hot 100 singles list. It has since been certified platinum by the RIAA, Recording Industry Association of America, for sales of over 1 million units. It also won the Golden Globe Award that year for Best Movie Song, and also won the Grammy Award for Best Song of the Year, along with the Oscar for its composer Marvin Hamlisch. This film saved Columbia Pictures, which was on the verge of bankruptcy and hadn't had a big hit in a long time. It's a charming, very warm-hearted motion picture, The Way We Were. Don't miss it, you fans of romantic movies. This is one of the very best. Oh, by the way, keep a hanky handy. Anyway, enjoy the film, The Way We Were, and until we meet again, this is your fellow film fan and host of Monday at the Movies saying, make it a double feature. Thank you.